And, there was a moment where I was playing defense against Cade, and he went to the hole, and I got elbowed in the face, like the first possession.
Flagrant elbow.
So that was, a welcome to NBA moment.
What's up, Piston fans? It's your boy, Flagrant Elbow. The Detroit Pistons lose to the Indiana Pacers 115 to 124. Detroit, as far as scoring was concerned, 38.9% field goals, 42 from the three. That wasn't too bad. Free throws, they got to the free throw line 30 for 30 attempts. They made 76%. That's a nice rebound from their free throw shooting against the Knicks. Rebounds was pretty close, 53 to 59. And offensive rebounds, Pistons got 17 to Indiana's 20. Assists, Pistons got 26 assists. That's good. Blocks, they got 3 blocks to Indiana's 15. Indiana was not allowing shots at the rim. Those guys are playing some basketball, some great rim protection down there. And Detroit suffered with 15 block shots. Next, you got steals. Pistons had 5 steals to Indiana's 7 steals. And also you had, as far as turnovers concerned, Detroit had 13. Indiana had 11. The Pistons in the points in the paint, 36. And the Pacers scored 48. That's down a little bit from what's been going on in the paint lately against Detroit. Personal fouls, 20 to Indiana's 21 fouls. So some of the Pistons who scored led the team. Cade Cunningham led the team, playing 32 minutes with 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Right behind him, Saddiq Bey, he got 20 points in, 11 boards, a double-double, and 3 assists. Bojan and Jaden Ivey, he had 17 points and 11, a double-double for the rookie, and 5 assists. Bojan had 16, 3 boards, 5 assists, and Beef Stew got a double-double with 11 points, 16 rebounds, and 2 assists. Coming off the bench, Corey Joseph with 10 points led the bench brigade, and our guy Jalen Duren had 6 points and 3 boards. So you kind of wonder what's going on or what's happening with the Detroit Pistons. My take on that is that the Detroit Pistons right now, they have to still continue to build chemistry, of course. They're a young team, no duh, right? But the problem right now for me in looking at the Detroit Pistons is a lack of defensive intensity. A lack of defensive intensity. What happens when your shot's not dropping? The game doesn't seem to be going your way offensively. Defense keeps you in the game. Defense is a major part of what the restore should be about. Defense is what will allow the Detroit Pistons to get easy transition buckets, and defense should be the identity of this team. Defensive intensity that leads to easy transition baskets, and the offense will flow. It'll kick in when needed, but defense keeps you in the game even if the offense isn't clicking. One thing about defensive intensity is effort. It takes effort, scrappiness and effort. And in order to beat teams in the NBA with lack of chemistry, you got youth on your side. Use that youth to exert that energy on the defensive end. This team should be focused on defense. A perfect example of that is starting the game off with putting Bojan in. Now, Bojan's a veteran. He's making decent money, so he's probably going to start. Me personally, I would rather start defense first, Duren and Beef Stew. Me personally. Let the defense set the tone. The offense will be there. The offense will be there. Let the defense come in and set the tone. We're not allowing points in the paint. We're going to set the tone early. And Beef Stew, with his ability to jump out to the three-point line and at least be a threat to shoot the three and make it, I think that'll provide us with enough offense to start games off that'll carry us throughout the game. And then when Bojan does come in, then Bojan can solidify that even more offensively from the 4 and 5 spot. But defense, it's a tone that needs to be set. Third game in a row, Detroit's getting hit in the mouth first and having to come back and then try to play catch up. First game, they were able to play catch up with the bench coming in, playing defense, locking it down. Well, let's start some games off playing defense, locking it down. Let's start hitting people in the face first. Hit them in the mouth first. Let defensive intensity be the identity of this team. Now, will it work all the time? Of course not. But the point is that the offense is going to be there. We have a young team that loves to get out in transition. That first game that was won, Pistons were running. They were getting steals. They came back. The bench came back, and they had great defensive intensity in there. And I'm sure now, understand this. I'm sure the defense will pick up when New Orleans gets back in there. Burks plays decent defense, so those two veterans there, when they come back, that may help the team defensively. But I think this is a coaching move as well. Coaches need to stress defensive intensity. Fourth quarter, what happens in tonight's game? Well, they down 6 points. I believe it was 6 points. I know it was about 8 minutes left in the game. Everybody's getting low, locking in on defense. Why are we waiting to do that now? Because we down 6 points and it's only 8 minutes left and it's deep in the fourth quarter. From the 8-minute mark, the 6-minute mark, through the rest of the game, the Pistons played with defensive intensity, locking in. And that translated to offensive intensity, locking in. When you get some stops, when you come down and shoot that jumper, you focused on that jumper. You trying to get that point. After we just got to stop, just got to block, just got to steal, you coming down and you shooting that jumper with confidence. That's why a lot of times you see somebody cross somebody over and break their ankle and they shoot that three and that three go in. You focus then after you made a nice play. So team-wise, defensive intensity will lead to offense. Easy transition buckets and also more focused plays being ran. You seen full court press in the fourth quarter. Mix full court press in during the during the other 3 quarters too. Keep teams off balance. Keep teams off balance. As fast as our team is, come down, push the tempo. We coming down playing, letting teams set up, playing playoff basketball. And we got one of the fastest guys in the NBA on our team. Not to mention, we got a team full of youth. So I think defensive intensity will make a huge difference for this team. Also in an identity that needs to be put for the Pistons. The restore, you had the bad boys, you had the going to work Pistons. Larry Brown, focused playing the right way. Their team, the Pistons were locked in defensively. Chuck Daly, his team wouldn't allow nobody to come in there getting the easy layups. So what happens when you have a team that's getting good blocks? Well, the Indiana Pacers showed that tonight. I forgot exactly how many blocks they got. I want to say about 19, but they got all of those blocks. Oh, it might not have been that much. Anyway, they got all these block shots as a team, and they got 15 blocks. I'm sorry, I was close. They got 15 blocks as a team. So what does that do to the other team? When they come in there, they're a little hesitant. Not only that, that makes the whole team play lockdown defense too. So I just really think that defensive intensity throughout the game can lead to so many other benefits as opposed to playing lackadaisical and trying to win games with your offense. It will call for a little bit more exertion of energy, but this team has youth on its side. Go in there and play some lockdown defense. So other than that, like I said, the Pistons had some good scoring stats, individual stats, three double-doubles. That was nice to see, but have that intensity throughout the whole game. Cade turned it on in the fourth quarter, but I'd love to see Cade turn it on all game, not just wait until the fourth quarter. And maybe maybe he's trying to get the other teammates involved and trying to get a feel for everybody, which I understand. Everybody's trying to build chemistry and get a feel for everybody, but at the same time, take the game over. Take the game over. Let everybody get in where they fit in, but take that game over. Corey Joseph comes in, he gets straight to work, and he's trash. But he comes in and goes straight to work. So from start to finish, I think our guys need to be focused on hitting people. You got teams barking at us, talking trash throughout the game. We don't want to have an identity of being soft. We do not want an identity of being soft in the league. But you got teams and players that's coming for the Pistons. Ivy was taken right before Mathurin. What was Mathurin doing? Putting in his bid for real estate, trying to buy real estate in Ivy's head, barking at him. Mathurin was barking at Sadiq Bey, talking trash and backing it up. So you don't want to have an identity where teams look at you like you the team to score points off of. Oh, he checking me, I'm about to drop 20. Easy. You don't want that. You don't want that as an identity, not for the Pistons, not for the bad boys. We don't want that identity. So defensive intensity helps us to have an identity that will lead to wins, toughness, and gain respect in the league. You're not going to outscore everybody every game, just outscoring them. You got to play defense. So that's my take on the game. Like I said, they had some, another thing too is the switching. The Pistons have the personnel to do switching, in my opinion. They have the personnel to do it. But right now it leads to too many open opportunities. Open threes, easy layups, easy rebounds. A couple of times Corey Joseph was in there with a guy standing 3-4 feet over him, getting rebound. It's not a good look. Switching, that's what happens when you switch. And when teams start looking to capitalize on the switch, then you got players that's going to be playing in the paint that's going to be scoring points, easy layups, easy rebounds, because they're playing with a point guard or someone smaller on them. So switching is it makes sense sometimes, but you got to switch it up. Detroit's getting killed. Offensive rebounds, block shots, putbacks, big men scoring double digits. Detroit is getting killed, and it's not going to get easier as you play other teams that have more high quality centers and power forwards in the game. You're going to have to figure that switching out. But once again, defensive intensity, I think the whole team needs to lock in and get focused on that. Stat-wise, the team is doing okay. Players are doing their thing. Ivy's, like I said, he got a double-double today. Duran didn't do too well scoring or rebounds. He had a couple early fouls, but he's going to be all right. He's still going to be all right. He got a nice couple blocks in, too. He's going to be okay. Not worried about Duran. Hayes didn't have too good of a game. 5 points, 2 assists. He was kind of quiet. Hamadou was kind of quiet. 2 boards, 2 assists. And Livers came in there and provided a little bit of punch. 8 points and 2 rebounds and some toughness against that center. But Pistons going to have to figure it out, and they will. This is only the 3rd game. No need to panic. But they got some things to figure out, and I think it starts with defensive intensity. They got to go in there and practice. In that practice, while they got a day or two off, and they got to lock in. But what happens is the schedule's going to get tough right now. The schedule's going to get real tough coming up. They got Atlanta twice at home, though. They'll be playing at home. Then they follow up another home game against Golden State. Then they follow up that with 2 games against Milwaukee, in Milwaukee. So you got a tough schedule coming up. Then you got Cleveland, OKC, Boston after that, New York again, Boston again, Toronto, the Clippers, Lakers. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough schedule. So we don't want to be too disappointed. We understand that the restore is still a process in the making. There still is a young team that needs to build chemistry. And we're still a season or 2 away from being serious contenders of anything. But right now, we still want to see some exciting basketball. We had a few highlights this game, but we're going to see some exciting basketball, but it may not translate into wins right now. So we definitely don't want to panic. Just stay focused, enjoy the ride, still watch the team, and as they get it figured out, they'll start to put together some wins. But they're going to start the season off. I think their first 20 games are pretty tough. This was a game they should have got. Against these Indiana Pacers, especially, they were down 0-2. This was a game the Pistons should have got, but they didn't. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll make some adjustments. Hopefully that defensive intensity will be their marker that they'll hang their hats on as they continue to restore and try to build an identity in this NBA. So that's all I had for now. Wanted to thank everybody for continued support, checking out the channel, and locking in. Fans, don't be too disappointed with this game, but we got a long season ahead of us. So thanks for the 585 subscribers. We'll tune in for the next game. Have some more content coming up, possibly tomorrow or the day after. I got things going on, so we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you guys about the game. Detroit Pistons lose to the Indiana Pacers, 115-124. So with that being said, everybody, stay safe.